Okay guys, so this episode today is going to be about weird things I do to save money. I have my murder mystery party coming up and I like to dress up, and I really like boots like that come over my calf, but I have a fat calf and I can never thrift boots that fit me. I could pay, buy some new ones, I'd probably find some, but I always find awesome boots secondhand, like this pair right here. This is the cool zipper and the grommets, and they're too tight. I can't get them to zip, they don't stretch. Probably paid like $3 for this pair. I have both. And what I'm going to do today is crazy. I really searched YouTube and I didn't find anybody else doing this. But what I'm going to do is, so I have this side with the zipper and the cool grommets, and then this side has a seam. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put these on. I'm going to take this faux leather that I got from the Dollar Tree, which isn't a good color match, but it's what I got. We're going to try it. And I'm going to cut down the seam, and I'm going to measure, draw on the back of this how much of this I need to make a bigger gap for my calf. And then I'm going to stitch it and see if they fit, if they look good. If they don't, I spent $4 and probably an hour of my time trying this out. So, and these boots, they're nothing fancy. They're made in China, 8.5s. They're probably gonna go into a landfill because I got them at the Goodwill bins. They don't have any fancy name or anything. I don't even think they're real leather. So, come along with me. And another weird things I do to try and save money, because I see if I can get these boots to fit my calf. So the first thing I'm going to do is try this on. Don't mind my big white leg here. I'm going to put it on. Tight to get on. As you can see, I could zip up probably about that far. And so what I want to do is create like a little web with the faux leather, but on this side, so it's on the inside, so you still get the cool zipper and the cool grommets. Some of them have it on the back, but I think I like how this inside seam is, that I think would look good here. So what I'm going to do is get this faux leather, which I feel like I wish I would have got the darker one, but get what I get. So here it is, and I'm going to, I think I might cut a piece a little bit smaller because I don't want to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way so I save as much as I can. So I'm going to cut a little bit. I'm going to slide it in here upside down and mark with a Sharpie the opening that I need it to fit in to make that webbing. Alright. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller. Probably need it maybe about that wide at the most. So I'm folding it, and I'm going to cut that piece down here so you guys can see. Right here. Try to cut it even as I can. Right down. Zip. And then I'm going to cut under it too, so I have a piece for the other boot. It just about matches. You know that old adage, measure twice, cut once. Well, you know, we don't need that here. So, like I said, I'm going to try and turn this so you guys can see it good. I'm going to put this piece underneath. In fact, unzip it some. Put that in there, like so. Put it really, I'll put it down farther because if I'm gonna have to zip it up more and stitch it down there. Alright, so zip it as high as I can get away with, keeping it flat. And then I'm gonna take my Sharpie and mark on the back of this faux leather, you know, the size that I need. And just like so. will cut this a little bit bigger than that V. And definitely leave the top bit on there too. But this is about what I'm going to need. So let me repeat that with the other calf and the other boot. So I have them both ready, and then we'll see about cutting this one and sewing it. There we go. There it is. Other side. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a genius. Only time will tell. We want the zipper and the cool grommets. So we're going to be doing the expansion on this side where this seam is. I'm going to cut the faux leather first because I care less about that. So what I'm going to do is probably give it about 1 inch of space allowance around my little template I made here. And I'm going to leave the top because I'm not sure about that yet. How far I want to fold it over or what. So there we go. So that basically, that's going to be like near where I want it, which is why I left all that at the top so I can fold it and make it a nice edge. But that's going to be going here where I'm going to cut in. Now I'm not going to cut a V because that will just make it the same. I'm going to cut the slit and put the V into it. I'll show you what I mean. Here we go. I'm going to cut these poor boots. I spent $3 on them. So, and they're just sitting not fitting me. I don't want to wear them. So let's see, probably, where's my old trusty marker? We're going to mark this again. That's down where I want to cut it to the end of my triangle. Maybe I'll cut it, yeah. I'm just going to go and give it a little Sharpie mark right to where I'm going to cut it. And I'm not going to cut, I'm going to cut along this seam. So I'm really nervous. This is cutting right into the thing. Whatever. Gotta go for it. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. It's cutting pretty easy. Right down to my Sharpie mark. And there we go. So you can see it has like that interior fabric. And then I think it's faux leather. This can't be real leather. So that's that. And what's going to happen is we got the interior here, and I'm going to be putting that edge of the Sharpie, or a little bit close to it, right up to the edge of this. And not that side, this side. And we want to stitch there, and we want to stitch the other side under. So it's basically going to be like this. It's going to go inside here, and it will come out to give more room for the calf, and I'll be stitching, and hopefully the edges will look nice. Here goes nothing. So again, I've never done this before, so you guys are going along doing it with me. I want to do it inside out, so I don't necessarily want this rough edge here. So I unzipped the other side, and this is the side that I really want to start. And with the saddle stitch, so you used 2 needles, and they kind of go in, out, in, out. It's like 1 thread with 2 needles. So I got this brown thread. It's not very thick. I don't know, kind of the gauge of thread I guess we'll need is a little bit thicker than this. Maybe I should get some embroidery thread for this. I'm going for it. Going for it. So I just have my one, I don't know, I didn't do very long. I can always tie it off and add more. Again, I don't quite know what I'm doing, so join me as I'm crazy. Now the guy who I watched this, he kind of tied it off onto the end here. I don't know. I don't remember the knot he used. So again, fake it till you make it. Did I tie that into a knot? Yes. So that has a little knot on that, so that won't come off. Now we're going to do the other end. Threading the needle. And just, I don't know, I put about 2 or 3 inches of, and tying the knot down a little bit farther away from the needle eye, so it's easier to go through. And I'm going to start the top here, not edging or anything yet, just at the top, so I can know I can get it through with this needle. And that's going to be tough. And then I want to get it through, matching up with my guideline there, and make sure, yes, so that's the edge. See that triangle? Let's see. So you can see there, the insides are facing out. The inside of the boot and the funky insides of the fake leather are both facing outwards. The good leather or good sides are facing inwards. Alright, so we got our 2 pieces through. Right now, it's kind of like needle on one side, needle on the other. I wonder if we turn the boot this way, so you can sort of see here. Kind of want to even them out. See how I have them pulled up tight. Alright. So now I'm going to just let it go loose. Then I'm going to stick through the next hole. Well, I don't have any hole markings, I'm just going with this. But I'm sticking it through, making sure it's staying on my line. And that side's pulled in. And this is going to go right in that same hole on the other side. And pull that in. So they're both beep beep interlocking. And I'm going for it again. Just gonna stitch, making sure every time that I'm kind of lined up with that Sharpie line on this edge, and I'm lined up on the edge here. So in with this side, pull it through, and then this is gonna line up and go right in that same kind of hole. I'm not getting it exact, but mostly. Pull it through. The man that I watched on YouTube do this, he had like special, it was like real leather working, real deal. Like he had scored marks that he could follow. I am not that fancy with my $3 faux leather boot fix here. Just not. Alright. I wonder if I could do this on my sewing machine. Just don't know about the leather. It's doing good so far. Here we go. We're just going back and forth, following each other until I'm going to run out of thread, which I definitely will, and then I need to add some more. Tempting to go farther ahead on the line, but I want the stitches to be close together. Out and stab myself in the thumb. Let's see. Too soon. Sort of looking alright. Move some of this stuff out of my way. Yeah. Alright.
So right here I'm just doing that saddle stitch all the way down to that little corner and then back around. The corner's a little tricky, but slow and steady. But I want to have a little story time here while I have my time-lapse on for you of me sewing and tell you about the one year my son wanted to be Link from the video game Zelda for Halloween, and he always has like tall work boots like this, and my son kept calling them high fashion criminal boots, and I thought it was hilarious. Like, you know, they were high fashion boots that criminals wore, and I thought he was, you know, saying that from from like what's the guy's name, Eugene from Rapunzel, because he was a criminal and he wore the high boots. But later my son told me it was because he read some fact that the term bootleggers came from back in the day where they had to sneak guns or booze in their boots. That's why they made the tall boots, so they were tall enough to slide things, criminal things, in their boots. So that's why they were, and the high boots were in fashion. So they were high fashion criminal boots. So it wasn't just because he was thinking that, that's actually what they were, and it cracks me up. And every time I think about my boots like this, and while I was doing this project, I kept laughing and thinking of that story about the high fashion criminal boots, cracking me up. So there's your story time. And now let's look back here at me sewing, and I'm still just going, doing that saddle stitch all the way down to that funky corner. Like I said here, it was slow and steady as I turned that corner, just trying to keep the edges together and keep the stitches close together so it looked as neat as possible on the outside.
It's a tight one. And then I'm gonna just tie these off. Again, the guy who I watched the fancy leather stitching tutorial, he had all good ties, but he was doing leather that you could, or the stitches that you could see. I'm trying to do these stitches so you won't see them. So it's okay if my knots are not, beautiful. So tie that a bunch. And we will cut. And here we go. So there's that side of the boot. And here is the extended side that I just sewed. So like I said, the color obviously doesn't match, but it's not the end of the world. Now I need to figure out how I want to do this heart. I think I'm just fold it over like that and do some stitches in out. Maybe that same saddle stitch just across the top here. Tied off on the inside. And then I'll cut that when I'm done. I like that idea. So unzip again. Just gonna fold it over the top here. See, this one I might need to start on this side because this one I have stitched up with this one. I left some room at the top so it's a little looser. So I definitely want to pull them as tight as they get. And we're gonna start, we're gonna do another saddle stitch and go kind of across that top. And then I'll cut this extra flap off when I'm done. So let me put my needles again. Cut off this extra thread. So what do they call it when you make something fit to order, like tailoring? Do they call that for boots too? I don't know, I have to look that up. But my tailored to fit my fat calves high fashion criminal boots. Alright, so same thing for that saddle stitch. I'm gonna tie tie a needle to both ends of the thread. Just one little knot, so it's not gonna, it only has a little bit to get pulled through the, threading a needle is a skill everyone should practice at some point or time in their life. So, got my two ends of my thing, and I'm going to start on this side where it's looser. And I'm going to fold you over, because I want it to go through both sides and that middle piece of leather on this end here, because it's so loose. I started with the big needle. Every one of these times, might be good to have this. So I can use my finger to really push it through. Alright, so now I'm going to pull these kind of so they're even. See, it's coming kind of undone. I might need to, oh no, don't get tangled, please. I'm gonna do this a second time on this edge because it's so loose and I want it tighter. That's not necessarily the way I wanted to do it, but alright. We're going to go through this one, back through. I gotta try and work hard to make these stitches more uniform, because you're going to be able to see them. Back through. I wonder, okay, debating pinning, but I'm just gonna go for it. It's the name of this game. Go for it, high fashion criminal boots. Alright. It's looking decent. I'm gonna pin this. Even if I just pin this faux leather too, so it stays down some more. Take off this pin, and I tried on with that flap on there. It's got a little bit of it off. All right, so there is this side of the boot, so you can see it extended a little bit more. And this side of the boot. It actually looks not bad. It's a little funky down here at the end, but totally seems wearable. True test, trying it on. So here is what we got, the one that's done, or not done, that I still need to do. So that is my left one, so we're going to try the right one. showing off some leg with that calf. Alright. Oh man, pretty tight still, but it fits. Question is, I think I couldn't get it on these, but I could get it over some skinnier pants. Should have done it with a pair of pants on next time I do boot. Look at it, guys. Oh my gosh. I did it. Holy cow. I am excited. Now I'm going to do the other one, and I will try them on, show you the final product with both of them. But look at that. Oh, man. Cool.